He kicked her crutch and walked away, but life had other plans. The sound of the wooden crutch hitting the ground echoed through the high school hallway, followed by laughter. Emily, a 16-year-old girl with a permanent limp from a childhood accident, bent down quickly, her cheeks burning as she struggled to pick it up. For years, she had endured stares, whispers, and cruel jokes, but today felt sharper, heavier. The boy who kicked her crutch wasn't a stranger. It was Ryan, one of the most popular kids in school, admired by teachers, loved by classmates, and captain of the basketball team. His smirk as he walked away cut deeper than the pain in her leg. Emily tried to hold back her tears, but they came anyway. She hated how weak she looked, how she couldn't move fast like the others, how she was always different. But what she didn't know that day was that life was already setting things in motion, preparing a lesson that neither she nor Ryan could ever forget. Months later, everything changed. Ryan was driving home late one night from a party, music blasting, the road wet with fresh rain. A single mistake, a sharp turn taken too fast, left his car flipped in a ditch. He survived, but the crash left him with severe injuries. By the time he woke up in the hospital, doctors told him the truth: his legs would never be the same. The boy who once ran down the court faster than anyone else now needed crutches of his own. At first, Ryan was filled with anger. His friends stopped visiting after a while, his basketball dreams disappeared, and the world that once adored him felt silent. He couldn't accept this new reality. Every step with those crutches reminded him of the very girl he once mocked. Fate, however, wasn't done weaving its story. When Ryan returned to school months later, slower, fragile, and filled with shame, the first person to offer him help wasn't a teacher, wasn't a best friend, it was Emily. She walked toward him quietly in the cafeteria as whispers floated around. Without a word, she picked up his fallen tray and placed it back on the table. Their eyes met, and Ryan's heart sank with guilt. He remembered the day he had humiliated her. Now, he was standing in her shoes. Emily didn't mention the past. Instead, she began to show him small kindnesses, guiding him when the hallways were too crowded, waiting beside him when others rushed ahead, even cheering for him when he tried physical therapy exercises. At first, Ryan resisted. His pride was too heavy. But slowly, her patience softened him. He began to see her not as the girl with a limp, but as someone incredibly strong, someone who had lived this way for years with grace he never had. Weeks turned into months, and Ryan's bitterness transformed into gratitude. He apologized to Emily one day, his voice trembling, admitting that he had once been cruel. Emily smiled softly and said, "Life teaches us in ways we don't expect. What matters is what we choose to do now." From that moment, they became unlikely friends, bonded not by weakness but by resilience. Ryan started speaking out against bullying, sharing his own mistakes, and reminding others that no one's worth is defined by how fast they run or how perfectly they walk. Emily, who once felt invisible, found her voice too. She joined him in speaking to younger students, turning her pain into a message of hope. By the time graduation came, the two of them stood side by side, both carrying scars, both walking slower than the rest, but both stronger than they had ever been. Life had other plans indeed. It had taken cruelty and turned it into compassion, shame and turned it into strength, strangers and turned them into friends. And in that journey, they discovered a truth far more powerful than popularity, pride, or perfection. Kindness will always walk farther than cruelty ever can. Would you like me to also condense this story into a short YouTube-style narration script, around 600 to 700 words, so it perfectly fits a 4-minute video runtime?